The Devil in the Tarot. The Devil is the 15th trump or Major Arcana card in most traditional tarot decks. The design of most of the cards is perhaps a little more standard and thus superficially easier to decipher. The Devil is symbolically not evil or bad, but is intended to symbolise our reactions to the temptations presented to us. He challenges the status quo and our beliefs and assumptions as to what is right and wrong. As such, he is the facilitator of entropy, the force for change, and possibly the person who introduces something extreme and even frightening in order to force change. The great adversary is the prince of the material world. He is the enemy of unity. He sets the worlds against the world and living people against each other. In the Trinity used by the Hindus, there are three great forces: creation, maintenance, and destruction. And the Devil is the force of destruction. But again, he is not evil. Creation of anything new is impossible unless destruction of the old has taken place, and it can cause pain seeing the values and beliefs, buildings or structures, systems and dogma dashed to the ground. Many will of course oppose change. As such, the devils of the world have to be ruthless, powerful and hard, and people will either support them if they want the change, or be paralysed with fear if they wish to defend the status quo. There may even be a battle, much as we saw in the symbolism of the game of chess. Eliphas Levi and the Baphomet Devil. Eliphas Levi Zahed was born Alphonse Louis Constant. His pen name, Eliphas Levi, was a transliteration of his given names, Alphonse Louis, into Hebrew, but he himself was French. Eliphas was a poet and author of more than 20 books on magic, Kabbalah, alchemical studies, and occultism. He pursued an ecclesiastical career in the Catholic Church until, after great personal struggle, his words, at the age of 26, he abandoned the Roman Catholic priesthood. He had a major impact on the magic of the Hermetic Order of the Golden Dawn. Founders are shown here: William Wynne Westcott, William Robert Woodman, and Samuel Liddell Mathers, and later on ex-Golden Dawn member Aleister Crowley, whose card we will look at shortly. And Eliphas Levi was a reputed magus. Levi's card is supposedly based on Baphomet, a deity allegedly worshipped by the Knights Templar, but there is more to this than meets the eye. Joel Montgomery, the Presbyterian Church of the USA. King Philip IV of France owed the Templar banks a great deal of money. In order to get himself out of debt, he called for the Catholic Church to take action against the Templars. The seat of the Pope and Catholic Church was in France at the time, and Philip placed immense political pressure on the Pope to act. The Pope gave orders to have all the Templar Knights arrested, and for them to be put on trial. Eventually Pope Clement V gave in to King Philip's threats and also issued a papal bull disbanding the Templar Order, and all its assets were seized. The two leaders of the order, Jacques de Molay and Geoffroy du Charnay, were burned alive at the stake as heretics. They maintained their innocence to the end. Pope Clement died only a month later, and King Philip died in a hunting accident before the end of the year. Many Templars fled to Scotland, making contact with the stonemason guilds, and this is why both Scottish and English churches were built with numerous Masonic mystic symbols, and this is Rosslyn Chapel. Where did Levi get this idea of Baphomet? There was nothing demonic in the rituals of the Templars, despite the trumped-up charges. The images were all based on Levi's strange interpretation. The only genuine image of a symbol being called Baphomet is this one. It comes from Royston Cave in the UK. It has a cockerel's head and two rather odd legs, and has also been given the name Abraxas. The 7 letters spelling its name may represent each of the 7 classic planets, and it is a Gnostic concept. If we look at Levi's admittedly scary figure and the Templar figure shown in these 2 pictures, one could be forgiven for thinking that Levi made up his own idea of the devil, influenced by the Roman Catholic Church of which he was once a member, and these 2 are French. A.E. Waite, whose tarot card owes nothing to Levi, said, "He, Levi, seems to have conceived strange views on doctrinal subjects, though no particulars are forthcoming, and being deficient in gifts of silence, the displeasure of authority was marked by various checks, ending finally in his expulsion from the seminary." But we will never know for certain. Suffice to say, no other card is like his, and the Rider-Waite tarot, many older tarots like this one shown here, even Aleister Crowley's card, are totally unlike his. A bit of history. Thomas Charles Lethbridge, Witches, investigating an ancient religion. The term devil derives from the times of Zoroaster, Zarathustra, and Zoroaster was responsible for the change of meaning from simply a spirit to one of an evil complexion. The various forms of diva, devus, and so on always referred to a good spirit, but Zoroaster in his teaching decided that all gods, except Ahura Mazda, must be some sort of demon. As they had been known as devas, the term devil took on an evil meaning in Persia and spread westward with Zoroaster's cult and Mithraism. Thus it comes that Hindu gods are Persian devils. Ahura Mazda, Zoroaster's god of all things, corresponds to the Hindu Brahma and the modern conception of a universal mind. So the devil shown on the card has been separated from the Trimurti of the Vedas and given its own persona away from the creator, the Brahma in Hindu, and maintainer, Vishnu in Hindu. But by doing this, a very important philosophical and metaphysical point was lost. Good and bad are terms we use to describe our personal view of an event. Good and bad are not absolutes. See video, The Symbolism of Ash, and all 50 Shades of Grey. The Vedic view is more accurate. There are 3 aspects of God: Brahman, creation, maintenance and destruction, and all are needed. The Devil's Interval. Nevertheless, there is one clear message that comes from groups like Black Sabbath. There are forces, spirits, that are extremely hostile to humans. Tony Iommi, Iron Man, Black Sabbath. I just came up with this riff for Black Sabbath. I played dom 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 and it was like, that's it. We've built the song from there. As soon as I played that first riff, we went, oh God, that's really great. But what is it? I don't know. Just a simple thing. But it had a mood. Only later did I learn that I had used what they call the Devil's Interval, a chord progression that was so dark that in the Middle Ages playing it was forbidden by the church. I had no idea. It was just something that I had felt inside. It was almost like it had been forced out of me. These things were coming up just like that. Then everybody started putting bits to it, and afterwards we thought it was amazing. Really strange, but good. We were all shocked, but we knew that we had something there. Back then, we did a lot of dope. We always thought there was something there that led us into this music that we were playing. I played that Black Sabbath riff straight off. Dang, jung, jang, and that was it. It just came up, as a lot of my riffs have. It was like somebody was there, saying, play that. Something or somebody was providing ideas and guidance from some other dimension, like an invisible fifth band member. But was this the devil? The Rider-Waite-Smith card. Arthur E. Waite, the pictorial key to the tarot. The horned god of Mendes, with wings like those of a bat, is standing on an altar. There is a ring in front of the altar from which 2 chains are carried to the necks of 2 figures, male and female. Hereof is the chain and fatality of the material life. A Wikipedia researcher, however, comments, none of this is factual. The confusion with the ram god of Mendes in Egypt was made by the occultist Eliphas Levi in his Dogma et Rituel de la Haute Magie, which has given rise to a flood of fanciful but spurious eclectic connections, such as the goat of Mendes. But there is an important point that is expressed in all these cards and affirmed by Tommy Iommi. Choose your spirits wisely, lest you attach your loyalties to demons. The demons, in Tommy's case, of drugs. In a sense, all these cards are indicating that if you think there is a shortcut on the spiritual path, you would be very, very wrong. That once beguiled and seduced, you will be enchained to those spirits and become the slaves of the demons that control them. That temptation is real, and the tempter provides experiences, insights, adventures and wonder beyond most people's comprehension. But there is always a terrible price to pay. And the worst price is that all these are taken away and the person is left with pain and addiction. There is no shortcut. Aleister Crowley's card. We know that Crowley was influenced by Eliphas Levi, but Crowley's card shows that he regarded the devil as part of the team. His third eye is open, but he stands in a rather benign fashion, blocking the way for all those trapped by their own materialistic bubbles. There are many who appear to be almost fighting to get out and ascend. But the devil stands guard, with his nets of form and his false wings attached to a pole. Crowley knew whose team the devil is on, and it is not the team of human beings who think there is an easy way to ascend. The devil, as far as Crowley was concerned, clearly entrapped many, but by so doing he kept mankind from reaching heights to which they were not entitled. In this picture we can see a pole behind the goat. This pole symbolises the road to heaven for the people in the bubbles shown below, but the goat blocks this road, because that is the goat's job. He is there to test people, and that is why he is part of the team. The other possible link in Crowley's card is that if Capricorn, the goat, is the key to the celestial pole and its wobble, this is also a clue to the link there is between the constellations and the escape route. Follow the celestial pole and its wobble. The Tarot Mukha. And so we come finally to the Tarot Mukha, a card that complements Crowley's card perfectly. Linnea Weatherstone, the devil. The devil assumes a pleasing shape to beguile the vulnerable to give in to her temptations. She entices the weak to chase temporal goals of wealth, lust and domination, and her crooning dulcet words assure her victims that more lofty pursuits are foolish. Why strive for goodness and kindness in a world that rewards neither? The immediate pleasures are all that matter. The beauty of the devil beckons and enchants, but look closely. Consider carefully the things that tempt you. Tear yourself free of addiction, manipulation, and emotional bondage. Follow only those passions that lead to the light. A last word by Timothy Leary. Dr. Timothy Leary, High Priest. This innocent little trip proposed by O'Donnell had been a 4-year college education. It destroyed my hopes that the mushroom pill was an automatic love revelation pill. This was a disturbing discovery. There seemed to be equal amounts of God and devil, or whatever you want to call them, within the nervous system. Psychedelic drugs just open the door to the magic theatre, and the stage and dramas you encounter depend on what you are looking for, your state of mind when you begin, the pressure of your travelling companions. The terrible truth began to dawn, and no, I didn't want to face it, that our consciousness creates the universe we experience. We are the architects of the celestial and hellish stages we act upon. I began to get a sinking feeling. Psychedelic drugs didn't solve any problems. They just magnified, mythified, clarified to jewel sharpness the basic problems of life and evolution.